Of all the prospects coming out of the UFC right now, Shavkat Rakhmonov is hands down the scariest. The record speaks for itself. 16 wins, 16 finishes, 8 knockouts, 8 submissions. This guy's a beast, but when you see him fighting, he doesn't even seem that special or like he's doing anything crazy. In fact, if we compare him to the top of welterweight, Burns and Chimaev probably have better grappling, Colby and Usman probably have better wrestling, and Leon has better striking than this guy. So how does he get to the finish so consistently? Simple, fight IQ. If I had to describe Shavkat as anything, it would be a sniper. He waits patiently, looking for the best conditions and moment to strike, but when he does it with an expected precision and lethalness behind it. The confidence with which he makes his reads and acts on them is astounding. Take his fight with Carlston Harris for example. Repeatedly during the matchup, after Shavkat would pressure Harris, Harris would launch a lead hand hook to Shavkat's body and circle toward his non-dominant side to cut the cage in order to get out. Less than 2 minutes into the fight and Rakhmonov has made the read, and he fires a strong spinning back kick to the body that leaves Harris wide open to eat some punches on the way out. Later on we'll see the same type of reaction out of Carlston after being pressured, but being the killer that he is, Shavkat takes no chances this time and does a spinning heel kick to the head and finishes him off with great ground and pound. Don't let the name fool you though, this guy isn't some sambo phenom who can only grapple, he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. But this still doesn't explain how he gets the finish so often. Even if he does get those potentially fight-ending moments, how is it that he's able to consistently capitalize on it, time and time again, and get that finish? It's simple, he doesn't chase the finish. I know that sounds like a catch-22, but listen to what DC said about his fight with John Jones and how John Jones managed to get the finish after that head kick.
And opposed to him just running at me like this, he kicks my leg and spins me. The world's spinning, I fall down. You fall down and your head's all out of control, there's nothing you can do.
By consistently doing the smart play, the finish just presents itself like a neatly wrapped gift for him. Just take a look at Rakhmonov's fight with Prazeres. After giving him a brutal spinning heel kick to the head, instead of flurrying him, he waits patiently for wobbly Prazeres to tip his hand, and he does. We see that with the poor shot that's defended easily. Shavkat positions him this time against the cage by pushing him, and then poises him for that brutal stepping knee. He's just mean in the way that he fights sometimes. And even still, he decided to sub Prazeres instead of ground and pounding him because it was easier to do at the time. But he's not without his faults. That slow pace he requires to make his reads sometimes can work against him. And we see that in his only bout that went to the 3rd round against Faridun Odilov. Shavkat got himself into a bit of trouble in the 2nd round. Odilov catches him with counters and step away hooks, and even when he misses initially, it's okay as long as he follows up, due to Shavkat keeping his head on the center line too much. Eventually we see Faridun take full advantage of this when he lands a combo that leaves Shavkat jelly-legged and a bit disorientated. So then later when he fires a massive overhand, Shavkat eats it and is out on his feet, but he manages to survive till the end of the round. It just makes you think that a matchup with someone like Colby, who throws more looping punches and constantly pressures you, would be really tough for Shavkat. But leave it to the machine to find a finish in the 3rd round. After throwing his lead hand out, Odilov would dip his head down to tie up Shavkat's body. The Nomad makes the read, then slips right and fires a massive uppercut. And then after Odilov's showboat when I'm actually hurt technique, Rakhmonov gets him with a well-timed knee on the entry. He uses his grappling to take him down and finish the fight. Now you have to ask yourself, can he hang in there with the top of arguably the hardest division in the UFC right now? Honestly, yes. He may not use his grappling against Burns or Chimaev, but what's stopping him from piecing them apart at range? What's stopping him from using his ground game to get a sub against the likes of Colby or Usman? Or even take them down himself from the clinch using his combat sambo? Same goes for him against Edwards. He's clearly got the fight IQ to find his opponent's weakness and squeeze a fight-ending finish out of it. And he's done it 16 times. Out of all the prospects coming out of the UFC right now, he's the most seasoned, hands down. However, he's in a division where a near-perfect champion can get knocked out due to certain tendencies and deficiencies that present themselves. So if Shavkat thinks he can go about dominating this division without his defensive boxing capabilities being tested, he's in for a rude awakening. Everyone at the top of this division are like sharks. When they smell blood, they don't stop. All of this to say that with a little more tightening up of his defensive boxing and his bad habits, there's no reason Shavkat Rakhmonov can't be a champion. In fact, I think he has the potential to be a dominant one at that.